It's finally time to mod the full release version of Baldur's Gate 3. This modding tutorial will be specifically for using Vortex, the Nexus mod manager, as I personally have had the easiest time modding with it. There is a different BG3 mod manager also available, and you can also do manual installation if you'd prefer. Please note that these are early days for BG3 modding, and the game is still being patched often. So install mods with caution, and note that sometimes things might not work right after a patch or a hotfix until the mod is updated. And this version of BG3 modding with Vortex will work for both the GOG and Steam installations. Before you begin modding, please make sure you've loaded into BG3 at least once. And I personally think it's better if you play a few minutes of the game after to ensure everything has loaded in properly. At the end of the video, I'll also have a few tips and tricks for you to help with modding this game. Everything will be timestamped for ease of watching, so jump around throughout the video as needed. The first step in all of this will be to get Vortex fully installed. I'll leave the Nexus mod link for it in the description of this video. It honestly doesn't matter where you install Vortex, however, I personally prefer to keep it on my game drive to keep everything nice and tidy. Once it's fully installed, make sure you log into your Nexus account in Vortex, which is located in the upper right-hand corner, so you can directly download mods to Vortex if you'd like to. Next, you'll need to add BG3 to Vortex itself. The easiest way to do this is to click the Game button located on the left-hand side. You should now see a list of unmanaged and managed games as well if you have any. Scroll through the unmanaged game list to find Baldur's Gate 3. And before you hit the Manage button in the center, I'd suggest clicking the three little dots in the upper right-hand corner and make sure that it's pointing to the correct game folder. If it's not, hit manually select location and direct it to the correct game folder. Once you've ensured all of this, go ahead and click Manage. Once Vortex has fully installed BG3, you should get a pop-up about installing a lslib/divine tools mod. Allow Vortex to install it for a better modding experience. Now, once your BG3 is fully installed and you've got the other mod ready to go, it's time to start, well, downloading mods. I cannot stress enough before you begin fully modding BG3 how important it is at this current time to install either the full release mod fixer or patch 3 mod fixer mods. They both basically do the same thing. I personally, however, have installed the full release mod fixer. I will leave a link to it also in the description of this video. After that, just download directly to Vortex using the mod manager download option on Nexus mods, the mods of your choice. If your browser asks if you'd like to open up Vortex when doing this, just hit open Vortex and you should now see it downloading to the mod manager. Alternatively, you can drag and drop the zipped/.rar or compressed files into Vortex manually. All you have to do is click into the mods section, which is located in the mods bar on the left-hand side, and then drag the file into the bottom of the main section where you'll see it say drop files. Once the file is downloaded, you'll see it in the mods section as never installed. Click it, then you'll see that it's listed as disabled. Click that to fully enable/install it. You'll also notice in the upper right corner, the pop-ups will also prompt you to install, enable, or just enable whichever mods you're installing. You can click those prompts instead if you'd like to, as it all does the same thing in the end. You might see a deployment or elevation needed prompt also in the upper right-hand corner. Whenever you see that, I'd suggest letting it do so to fully install mods into the game. If you get a pop-up from Windows asking for permission when doing this, just click OK. And before you load into the game to check out your mods, click the Load Order button, which is also located in the bar on the left-hand side underneath the mods section. Here you can drag around your mods in the load order of your choice, but it also serves as a way to double-check if all of your mods are actually installed. Once you're happy with the load order, and make sure to always keep the mod fixer mod at the top, you can load into the game. You can do so either via Vortex or as you normally would launch through Steam or GOG. Please note, if you're going to be launching this through Vortex, make sure in your dashboard under the Tools section, you double check your BG3 is launching in the correct format, either via Vulkan or DX11, whichever you had initially picked on the BG3 launcher. The best way to check is to click the 3 dots on the right-hand side of the BG3 tool, then select Edit, and then look at the target address. For me, it defaulted to Vulkan, which is listed as bg3.exe. However, if you want to use DirectX 11, click the folder icon next to the target address and then select bg3_dx11 and then save, and you're good to go. Now you're all set to load into the game and see if your mods work. To uninstall your mods, all you have to do is re-click the Enable button in order to disable them in the Mods section. And then to fully uninstall them, click the little arrow that's next to the Enable/Disable option and select Uninstall from there. Here are a few tips and tricks for a better modding experience. Please don't skip these, as some of this info could save you a lot of time down the road. First, and most importantly, when it comes to modding BG3, currently some mods cannot be uninstalled or shouldn't be uninstalled during a playthrough. So please read through all the instructions on each mod page very carefully to ensure that the mod you want to use can either be uninstalled easily, or if it has specific instructions to do so, or maybe it shouldn't be uninstalled at all once you start a playthrough using it. If your mods are not showing in the load order section for some reason, I'd suggest closing out of Vortex completely, relaunching the program, and then once you do that, click the deploy option in the mod section, which is in the upper bar. It has a little chain linked together icon. Once it's deployed, it should show them for you in the load order section. Make sure you have all mod dependencies installed, as some mods are built on top of existing frameworks. You can see in the requirement section of each mod and in the mod description if there's anything important as far as that goes. I'd suggest starting with installing only one mod first, something very easy to see if it's working, such as a character creation mod, before installing several mods at once. You might get a pop-up for some mods talking about how it's a replacer mod. If that's the case, please note, to get it fully working, you'll have to install it as a replacer. That means, however, the only way to uninstall it is to delete that file and replace it with the original one. If you're going to do so, please make a backup copy of the original file first in case you don't want to use that mod anymore. Also, that pop-up in Vortex, if you want to back out of it and not install it as a replacer right away, just hit Install as Mod, and then you can simply delete the whole mod or uninstall it and come back to it later when you're ready. And there you have it, how to mod BG3 using Vortex. I hope you're having fun during your time in Baldur's Gate. Happy modding, and I'll see you next time. Bye!